Today we're going to go over how to add a calendar to your survey. There are certain situations where it's a lot easier to add a calendar that someone can select from, like a normal calendar, instead of configuring a multiple choice question or an open text question that asks them to enter a date. So this is a way to save time and save energy by using something called a Qualtrics library to import various question types, in this case a calendar, to help streamline processes when someone's selecting a date when they're looking to attend something or when they're filling out some sort of form on your survey. So with that being said, let's hop into the survey and get started. So I'm going to this calendar test survey, and I have a couple questions here, some super simple questions. Are you coming to a party? Yes, no, not sure. And if you were coming to the party, which date would you be able to attend? You'll see here that with question 3 and question 4, enter the date here and select your date here. These two guys are a little bit tough to configure if I want an extensive date range. So for question 3, let's preview this block really quickly. The problem with question 3 is, if someone were to enter the date like 12-1-2023, this would technically be a valid date field, and someone could do something like this, enter 12/1/2023, or someone could enter a date like this, or someone could enter a date like this, or someone could enter the date like this. All of these are valid date fields, and the problem with this open text field is that people can enter the date in any which way they'd like, and analyzing the data on the back end can sometimes be a nightmare since all the different formats are valid date fields, so they'll be accepted in here. Now, a way to work around that is to make a multiple choice question that restricts the date format to specific dates, except the problem is if you want a wide range of selections, like let's say I wanted every date from December 10th, 2023 to December 24th, 2023, I'd have to add all of them one by one into here so people could select them when they're answering the survey. This, of course, if you have a lot of dates to choose from, can get very taxing, and especially if it's a multiple choice question type, there can be a lot of selections to choose from and people might select the wrong option. Now, a way to work around these two is to do something called importing the date field and date question type from the Qualtrics library. And it's very simple to do. The way you go about doing that is to go here, import from library, and then once this loads, we're going to go to the Qualtrics library, we're going to go to demographics, and you'll see this block that says calendar questions. You're going to click on that block and then insert as a copy. And then once this guy loads, you'll see it pop right at the bottom of the survey. Perfect. Let me exit out of here. And then these guys all populate with different date options you can choose from to add to your survey. So let's run through a quick preview of what all these different guys look like so you can have an idea of the different things you can select from. Okay, now hopping back into this, what we see here are 3 different calendar options that are more or less the same. In these 3, one just selects the month, the day, the year, and then they can input these options and then have that get automatically processed on the back end in month, day, and year format. For example, in this case, we can select February 29th, 1945, and it'll just be processed as February 29th, 1945, with the numerical value for February processed instead of the actual month value. Now, if you'll notice here, February 29th, 1945 isn't a real date. This isn't a leap year. In that case, this particular calendar isn't what's called a smart calendar, where it automatically adjusts for leap years and other regular years. So for this calendar, it will only show the maximum number of days in each month, which for February would be 29, but this year wouldn't exist in 1945, so that's something to keep in mind when using this option. But these guys, if I try to select February 29th, 1945, it will default to the 28th and hide out the 29th, since this is a smart calendar and it automatically adjusts based on the given year. So in this case, this isn't a leap year, so we'll only have 28 days and the calendar will adjust accordingly. Similarly, if I do the same thing here, it will once again adjust so that the 29 is hidden and the 28 is selected. Now we'll head back to this calendar, which is a little bit different, where it has an actual visual of a calendar where people can select different dates. It fills in this text entry box, and then they can also, as with the normal calendar, adjust just like a smart calendar would to show the 29th day of February in a given year. And the great thing about this calendar as well is that once someone clicks on a given date, they can adjust this accordingly in the text entry box itself to modify it so they can meet the exact date they want without having to go all the way back in time and finding it. That's a great way of giving people the option to just click or type in the date they want and then have that populate in your data analysis tab. I hope that clarifies things. Please feel free to reach out if you have any additional questions or concerns or any comments about this that you may have. Everything's helpful, and I'm always happy to hear input about topics for future videos, any suggestions you have for this video, anything that's a little bit confusing that you'd like me to clarify, things like that. As always, thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you soon in the next video.